Hey everyone, in today's video we're going over sports hernia, or what some people just notice as groin pain in this general area here. Some people describe it as possibly maybe it started in the low back or side of the hip, and as it's gone on or has gotten worse, it has traveled into the groin, sometimes deep up into here, or even maybe where they feel their pubic bone right around here. If you kind of palpate in that area, you might feel a little bit of tenderness there. We're going to go over what this is in the beginning of the video, talk a little bit about the true diagnosis of sports hernia and groin pain, and then at the end of the video I'm going to give you two things that I've noticed in office has worked really well for people who have come in with this issue. My name is Dr. Dawn. I work at Performance Place Sports Care, just one part of the locally world famous chiropractors here in Costa Mesa. And if you guys like this video, you want to know a little bit more about groin pain, hip pain, whatever it is that you got, maybe you got something else going on up here too, go to our channel, search whatever it is that you have. We have so many free resources for you on there. Just take advantage of those videos, okay? So we're going to get right into it. In the beginning here, I am talking a little bit more about what a sports hernia is. Dependent upon who you're talking to, it's not a very well understood diagnosis out there. And a lot of times people understand it a little bit differently. Sometimes it's, well, your imaging, like ultrasound, MRI, whatever it is that you got, all comes back fine, but your pain is in this area, and maybe you're given the diagnosis of a sports hernia and to rest for a little bit. Maybe it feels fine to rest, but then when you get back into your activity, it just slowly creeps back again, and it just doesn't seem like the rest does anything. So you're just supposed to spend the rest of your life doing nothing because it feels good to do nothing rather than get back into it. Well, ultimately, what I've seen here is that there are the two things that we can, then I will show you at the end of the video, that can help you get back into that movement again. True sports hernia, a true diagnosis of a sports hernia, is where the abdominal muscles, the six-pack or the imaginary six-pack, comes down and attaches into the pubic bone here, okay? And where that attachment is, there's usually a little bit of tearing that occurs at that tendon or at that aponeurosis at the bottom. And that tearing can create that pubic pain and sometimes even into the hip. There are different reasons why there are groin pain too. Sometimes you feel it like you might, why is it that I can also feel it back here or the side of my hip or deep up inside me? What is going on? Well, usually that doesn't just happen because of nothing. There's something else going on biomechanically in your body that has created that tearing force in that area. So what we really need to do is shift the load away from that attachment and get something else to help you out, because that has not had any helpers up to this point. So as people come in and I evaluate them and I see what's going on, what I see is they usually have a little bit of lack of mobility in this hip somehow. Whether we're testing squatting or the strength in that area, or we're kind of going and loading into the hip itself, we see that it lacks range in some specific direction, okay? So when we have lack of range of motion here, we got to find that range somewhere, and usually it comes through the backside, which is why sometimes we may also notice that back pain comes on, we might feel some sharp shooting pain, something feels nervy, numbness and tingling, maybe even a little sciatica like down the back of the hamstring that comes later on, or maybe it started with that. It really just depends. You're trying to find the movement somewhere else, and you're creating stress on certain structures that don't need to be stressed that much. So we're gonna get right into how to find better mobility here. Actually, first, how to relax the backside, and how to relax the front side, and how to find the better mobility here. And then later on, we'll talk about where to go and next steps going forward, okay? So first things first, these are pretty simple, easy things to try. If you haven't already tried it, just follow along. I always want you to test your pain first, whether it be walking, squatting, whatever it may be. Test it now and follow along with me, okay? So we're gonna go into a simple child's pose position. Some may know what this is, some may not. We're gonna get here. We're gonna go as wide as we're comfortable with our knees, okay? We can start on our hands here, and we can slowly sit ourselves back, okay? If you can get yourself into this position with your elbows in between your knees here and just kind of relaxing the head down, then go ahead and do it. If it takes other people a minute, maybe here it already hurts, but it slowly starts to dissipate, take your time and pause at points where it starts to kind of creep up on you. Let it settle before we get into this full position. You may not even be able to get all the way here today, and that is completely fine. Respect wherever your body is at today, okay? So wherever you are, we're just gonna try to relax into this position and maybe take about 5 big breaths into the belly. Where you feel your thighs and your belly meet here, I want you to take a huge breath. And one more. If this feels okay, I want to progress. Let me get my hair out of the way here. I want to progress where you use your elbows or your hands, depending upon where you are, to start to round your imaginary turtle shell to the ceiling and back down. Okay? To the ceiling and back down. You may start to feel a little bit of abdominal activation through this. If this is painful, please do not do it, okay? But ultimately what happens is we've been told not to do core exercises, things of that sort. But at some point, we have to be able to get back into that, depending upon where you are in your healing journey. So this is a nice, easy introduction into some activation of those muscles in a shortened position here, okay? We're not lengthening them and making them go through anything crazy. It's just an easy way to ease back into some abdominal movements, okay? So I want you guys to either pause the video, take the time, or if you're just watching and you're gonna try it later, that's fine too, but spend at least a minute in this position and get up and retest. You may notice maybe small improvements, maybe no improvement. If you feel worse than getting out of this position, this is not the video for you. Go check out something else on our page, there's more to it. But if this feels a little bit better, then we're gonna get into that next step, okay? So shortening the front side, allowing it to relax, allowing the structures that we've been kind of stressing too much back here to calm down, and then we're gonna get into how to find that better hip mobility, okay? So depending upon which one hurts you, let's say it's my left one, okay? We're gonna leave that leg down. And so, especially with things in this area, a lot of people think hip flexor issues. Sorry, my head's caught off. I don't have a cameraman today, but bear with me here. People think hip flexor, I need to stretch it, I need to strengthen it, all kinds of stuff like that. We are gonna kind of get into a hip flexor stretch, but it's not about stretching it. It's about how to find the movement and the mobility in the true hip socket itself, okay? So we're not here doing this kind of hip flexor stretch. We're getting mobility done at that true hip socket. So we're gonna glute squeeze. Already you might feel a little stretch here. If you don't, lightly let that glute squeeze kind of lean you forward until you feel a small stretch here. And then we're gonna come right out of it. We're not gonna hold. Let the glute squeeze keep taking you into and out of it. You may feel your groin pain. You may feel your pubic pain. You may feel your back pain. If this is right for you, what you will notice is that each time you do it, it slowly starts to dissipate. If it stays the same or gets worse, again, this is not for you. Stop the video, go find a different video for your groin pain. We have other stuff that you can try, or call us. We do work with people virtually or in person, so if you're near us, please come see us. If you are not near us, we still are happy to help you. Give us a call, we'll help guide you in the right direction, guys. Okay, so we're trying at least 20 to 30 of these with this glute squeeze. If it's slowly dissipating, let's get there to that 20 or 30, and then we're gonna be done with this, and we're going to retest. Whatever it was in the very beginning that hurt your pain, retest after child's pose. Again, retest after this. You may notice that each one gives you a little bit more improvement. This is simple, easy stuff. This is introduction back into exercise, okay, or whatever your goal may be. This is not, okay, I'll just do this forever and I should be fine. This is first aid. This is Band-Aid. This is Neosporin on a cut. This isn't, I can go back and play football again, or I can go back and play soccer or go lift some weights. Introductory, okay? So at some point in the video, you might see a link that pops up, or there's a link down below in the comments. Please click on it. It will take you and guide you into the right direction of what are the next steps for you. If you just want to know specifically what you can do for your condition, give us a call. We're happy to help guide you in the right direction. Talk soon, guys.